So the show's been compared to Yellowstone and Virgin River. How would you guys describe it?
Oh, what a flattering comparison. I mean, my gosh. But I would say they're in the same sandbox. I don't know how actually similar we would be to Yellowstone, so I don't want to get anyone's hopes up looking for Yellowstone. We're really our own entire world. April Blair created our own sort of universe that I guess it's similar in that it has the same backdrops and the ranches and the cowboys and the family drama of it all, but
there's a lot of dysfunction too. There I think there is quite a bit of similarity there because
is there? I shouldn't speak on that because I haven't really watched.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love that. I love that show, and but you're right. It's somewhere in between. I think those two. When I first heard about it, I was at my place way out in the woods, and I was talking to April, and I was totally in the zone of this kind of life, and I read the script, and I really related to this guy on so many levels. In that he it's about family, and it's about this land that he's been passed down through generations, and it's about legacy and all these things that are important to him. But this dude is broken. He lost his wife a couple years ago, and he lost his son, I think the day the series actually starts. And what I was really drawn to was this really complicated thing that these two have, that he didn't even see coming and doesn't know how to deal with it when it does. And I think that it's a really frustrating thing for both of them because he's so unable to deal with not only the grief, but the feelings. He's, just a lot to play. And for me, as an actor, it was really fun, especially with somebody like her.
In Ransom Canyon, everyone's running from something or running to something.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you guys have great on-screen chemistry. Had you guys met or worked before this?
I did. I met her, but she doesn't remember it. We were on a plane back from New York. We had a full conversation. I mean, it was like a full conversation. And I was like, remember that time we were on the plane? She's like, yeah, I don't remember. I was like, oh, really? That was that memorable? True story.
And then tell us about your characters. What's their
Maybe I was too intimidated and I blocked it out.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Because I couldn't believe Josh Duhamel was talking to me.
And then tell me about your characters. What was their relationship like?
One of the things I really loved about, this character and coming out of the show too was just the complexities of a woman coming into her own power and navigating these, relationships and recognizing unhealthy patterns and learning how to step out of them. And, the tale as old as time of a woman thinking she can fix or save a man and having to learn that, he is who he is, and you gotta, not fall in love with someone's potential and sort of take care of yourself. And this relationship for me was very relatable. I know a lot of women who've been, in this dynamic, and I love the idea of playing a woman, sort of finding her confidence to be able to actually say no to the man that she loves, which is one of the hardest things you can do, in relationship as a woman in your life, is to know when, enough is enough. And the constant will they, won't they, will she walk away, won't she, is, I think, a super relatable story.
Well, if it isn't Stan Kirkland.
It's been a while, huh?
What is it with that guy anyway?
He lost everything. Just trying to make sense of it.
You say you like the wind blowing through your hair.
So, you came home from New York.
My life here is starting to fall into place. Some things are just meant to be left in the past. Quinn, it's not your job to put his heart back in one piece. He's my friend, Ellie. And don't give me that look.
And this is based on a series of Western romance novels. Have either of you read them, or are you going to read them now after the series?
Josh has read the entire series.
I read them before this. I even knew about this series.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Why do you laugh?
I don't know.
And Minka, you said you were surprised by how much you had in common with Quinn. What are those things?
I mean, I think the story in the world that April built and the writers built for her and these relationships. What are you laughing at? You're still on the books?
No, I'm still thinking about the books. Sorry.
I've been in these relationships. I think every woman I know has been in this dynamic with like, which one am I going to choose? Am I going to choose the one that my heart wants, or am I going to go with the one that my mind wants? And I think a lot of times when your head and your heart are in conflict, there's going to be some friction, and you got to, figure that out. And that's such a relatable human story that I loved, and working with Josh made it so fun and so easy because we both cared so much to not make something like this that could very easily become super melodramatic or saccharine in some way. And we just found all the nuances and the complexities to make it as honest and real and relatable as we could. And being that we've lived some life, we had some context to bring to these really complicated.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
These ranches are our legacy. You can't force me out, Davis. I will find a way. Then it's war.
Take a ride with me, babe.
There's this moment where you turned and you looked at me,
You by my side.
and I felt it.
And then Josh, you have the cutest kids. So did Shepard
really
and
does.
Axel come to set at all while filming?
So Shepard was born like 3 weeks before we started shooting, so he was brand new. So I have a lot of fond memories about, New Mexico and the house we had, and all the raising a baby from the early days is, it's a lot. So it was a really fond moment in time for me, and I think that having that in this show. By the way, this cast is like. They just coagulated so early and still it's all very close. And I think the kids in a lot of ways made this unit that we created, this team, that much more solid because of them. Typically it's, I try to be that guy, but it's Garrett, it's Lizzie, it's Andrew, it's those guys. Those kids were really, really good about that. Jack Schumacher, of course. So anyway, I don't know if that answers your question.
We got a good crew. All the stars aligned on this one for sure.
And the last question, what was your reaction when you read the script, and were you excited for fans to see when watching this?
I think for me it was how I related to it. I loved these two families that have been dueling for generations. I loved how broken my character was and how he was trying to figure it out and how he sees her kind of clearly for the first time. All these things, it was a great combination of real drama and real relationship stuff that I think only works with somebody like Minka.
With somebody like Josh. And also seeing adults in these stories. Seeing like, oh wow, you can be in your 30s or somethings and be still trying to figure it out, still trying to get out of your own way, still trying to, learn what's healthy, what's not, what are, these dynamics. I think these lessons, I think we're all, learning, and we're not really seeing a lot of grown-ass people on TV still learning these lessons, which I think is really fun and relatable. I know when I see someone my age still trying to figure it out, I feel less alone, or I feel like, okay, I'm not broken, that I haven't figured this out yet, that I'm still trying to, when I was her age, I'm a little older than she is. But in your 30s, you're still trying to you haven't figured it out, and that's okay. We're figuring it out for the rest of our lives, and I like that it's not buttoned up just because, you're a grown up. I think it's super.
I got it all
relatable.
figured out. I don't know about you.
All right, perfect.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks.
Really appreciate it.